turn into lowest downwind. Cessna over the threshold, coming up on the white dot, at or beyond the white dot, left turn first available. I got a high wind coming up on about a half-mile final, clear to land at or beyond. Traffic on the left face, you're following a Cessna down low off your left. Square it up just a little bit, and then we're going to get you in. Start your descent, though. Start your descent on the base. Traffic on final, give me follow on base. Base traffic, start turning toward the numbers now. High wing coming up on quarter-mile final, take it all the way down to the green. Cessna taxiing on the green, expedite down to the next hard surface. Get me some speed, there you go, 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 go fast. This is going to be good. I got traffic on a mile final. You're following traffic ahead and to your right. High wing coming up on the threshold. Take it all the way down to the green dot.
5 Charlie Sierra, 2 mile final.
A mile final, turn north, and we're going to just make you, we're going to bring you back around. Jet traffic's coming up on about a mile and a half final. Runway 9er clear to land.
Okay, all right, let's listen up, guys. If you're on final for runway 9, I want you to offset to the left. I got a jet that's landing on runway 9. The jet's cleared to land runway 9 if you can make it. If not, just continue straight ahead. It looks like you're going around for the jet. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
Oh, we had one right in front of us, sir.
Tail dragger. Let's see, what we got, a tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tail dragger, down to the green dot, then a left turn. Short final here, you cleared land on 9 all the way to the white dot. Go down to the white dot. Find somebody to follow out here. Kennard, just come to the runway and I might have to just send you around. That'll be fine. And for the jet, you just want to stay in this pattern or you want to go back out for an instrument approach?
Stay in a pattern, Charlie Sierra.
All right, just stay with me here for a minute. And my tail dragger, let's see, over the numbers, go down to the green. And Kennard's going to have to go around. Kennard, go around. And my high wing here over the runway, keep it airborne. You do not descend. You got a fast guy behind you. Do not descend. There you go. Keep it airborne. As soon as the guy behind you gets slowed down, I'm going to put you down. So keep it airborne. The one that just passed the white dot, make a left turn on the hard surface. All right, my high wing tail dragger, you can put it down now. And Charlie Sierra, let me get you about a mile off. Let's see, Charlie Sierra, I lost. There you are. Make a left-hand turn. I'll try to resequence you here on the downwinds. We'll see how it looks. Short final, you're clear to land runway 9 on the white dot. There you go. And the tricycle left on the hard surface and follow the flagman. Welcome. Thanks for being part of the show. And let's see, just find somebody to follow on the final, and as you get close to the runway, if it's not going to work, we're going to send you around and then try to re-sequence you. Now, who else got sent around that's not back on the downwind? The Kennard?
Yeah, Kennard.
All right, Kennard, there's a Gulfstream up there that went around too. I just lost sight of him, but you're going to make kind of a left-hand turn and stay low. I think Charlie Sierra, what's your altitude?
3,200.
Okay, that'll be fine. Just maintain VFR. I don't know what else is up there above you. Probably most everybody's down here, so just make a left-hand turn. We'll try to get you back here.
Kennard's got the jet in tight.
Okay, the RV, maybe an RV-10, whatever, here on final. Keep your speed up and go all the way down to the, aim for the green dot for me. Actually, keep your speed up. There's a guy behind you. Aim for the green dot, and I'm sure that's plenty of room for you to land on runway 9. You're clear to land on runway 9. Number 2, you're going to go down to the white dot. Follow the white dot. Actually, you know what? That's 1,500 feet. You're going to land at the white dot. The spacing looks adequate here. 2 guys on final. You're kind of tight there. Keep each other in sight, and you're going to aim for the white dot. If it's not going to work, we'll come up with a plan B. We might have to send you around. The second guy behind you out there in about a 2-mile final. Are you slow enough to be able to follow that guy in front of you? You need to go around. Well, I probably shouldn't ask that because I had about 5 guys answer me, so I should know better than that. After 35 years, you would think, right? All right, so let me see. The guy who's number 1, it's number 1. What kind of airplane is he? An RV type. All right, RV type. Keep it airborne for me. Keep it airborne. And I got a fast guy behind you. The number 2 guy over the trees there. Go ahead and put it down on the numbers. My first guy just coming up on the numbers at the over the grass at the numbers. I want you to keep it.
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello.
Four, three, two, one.
Hello.
Hello.
And welcome, and thank you very much for joining us on this not very sunny Thursday night, at least not here So very much appreciated. And first of all, talking of appreciating things, let's just kick off with a big thanks to our sponsors, Sky Demon, without whom this wouldn't be possible, or it'd be significantly more difficult anyway. Sky Demon, as you know, is a fantastic nav and planning app. And if you are one of those few people, if you've just arrived from Mars and you haven't tried it, head on over, download yourself a copy and give it a go for the 30-day free trial. See if you like it. So we're going to kick off with the Sky Demon tip video. We got the kind of software's changed this week, so it might be a little rougher than usual even. And not the Sky Demon software, I should say, the streaming software. So this one's come from Rob Hart, who you'll recognise from various shows and talks that he's given. So here you go.
Hi, I'm Rob from Sky Demon, and here's today's top tip. When you've finished planning your route, you may wish to share it with a friend. To do this, tap on Route, and then drop down to Share, then choose By Mail. This will create a canned email which contains the Sky Demon route and a route in a couple of other formats, as well as some briefing information as well. Pop your friend's email address in here and send it off. They can then open the attachment to view it in their Sky Demon. For more information about features in Sky Demon, check out the user manual, which you can find on our website and within the help menu in the app.
Oh, there
Very
you
good.
go. Top tip.
Top
Of
bunch
course,
of
you
people.
need friends to share it with.
Yeah. Well, you could just share it with random people, I suppose. You could.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. So what have we got coming up tonight? Well, we got the news, clearly. We got weather from Simon. Simon's not here live, and that's probably just as well, because we'd have to take the mickey out of him for last week's not completely accurate predictions for the Slate fly-in. We got a little chat about the Slate fly-in. We have got 2 new occasional features for you tonight. Yet not 1, but 2, amazingly. Occasional features are things that we'll run occasionally, depending on what's going on. Ed, your screen's turned off behind you.
I know. Yeah, it always does that.
We've got an interview with Sam Rutherford, which Johnny recorded at Fantasy Hangar, and all sorts of other bits and pieces, and probably a whole load of stuff I've forgotten. So I suggest...
Zara.
What did I say?
Sam.
Did I call her Sam Rutherford?
You did.
You did.
Oh, Zara, if you're watching, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to call you your dad's name. With Zara Rutherford. Zara Rutherford, that is. Oops. Right, let's get to the weather, shall we? Very quickly before anything else happens. Here you go. Come on, Simon.
Hi everyone, hope this evening finds you well. We've got a bit of a changed situation for this weekend. The jet stream is back in evidence. You can see it there across the south of the country, blowing it over 100 knots. So a pretty strong jet stream, that tends to mean one thing, and that's more unsettled weather ahead. And that's certainly what we've got. I think this weekend is going to be one for trying to gain yourself some brownie points rather than getting out there for hours and hours of flying. This is how Friday shapes up. Low pressure is in control, and it will be for most of the week. You see it there centred across southern parts of Scotland, and that's going to be bringing some unsettling conditions. The isobars quite close together, meaning that we're going to be getting strong winds both south and to the north of that area of low pressure, and we're going to be finding some rain affecting Scotland, again affecting parts of Ireland too. For more southern areas of the UK, it's a case of sunshine and some pretty hefty showers, these being blown in on that strong westerly wind, gusting 35 to 40 knots in the west, probably 30 to 40 knots across central and eastern areas, particularly I think during the latter part of Friday. So not a particularly brilliant day for Friday. For Saturday, the low pressure is still there. The rain on Saturday probably circulating around the low close to the front here across southern Scotland, across central parts of Ireland as well. And that's where we'll find the lowest cloud bases, probably at around about 500 to 1,000 feet above ground level in some places. Further south, it does look as if we'll find showers Probably, I think, central and eastern areas, not that bad. Bases there at around 2,000 to 3,000 feet, but down to 1,000 feet in heavier showers. But I think some bands of heavy showers getting into southwest England. Some cunims to be found in there as well. Bases about 2,000 feet, but down to 1,000 feet. And showers, tops could be 20 to 25,000 feet. A few showers across Scotland as well, but here I think they'll tend to be more scattered again. Bases 3,000 feet, tops typically probably coming in at around about 15 to 20,000 feet. And then for Sunday, a little bit of a mess on Sunday. The low pressure is still with us. I think we've still got the remnants of these fronts across southern Scotland and Northern Ireland, bringing some rain here and probably non-VFRable conditions. 1 or 2 showers affecting central parts of Scotland, but for actually Southern Ireland and for central and southern England and Wales, not that bad. I think we're looking at bases probably at around 2,000 to 3,000 feet. Tops there probably around 12 to 15,000 feet. 1 or 2 showers, but not that many of them. But I think some more persistent rain just getting into the southwest a little bit later on, ahead of this frontal system that you see down there. Quite breezy as well across southern areas. But I think for flying at the moment, Saturday looks reasonable central and eastern areas. Sunday certainly looking better across those central and southern parts of the country. But I have to say, it looks like this rain just continues for parts of southern Scotland, northern England, and also Northern Ireland too. We've got a Polar Maritime to returning Polar Maritime air mass over the top of us, and we talk about these at Aviation Weather School. And if you want to brush up on your air masses, because if you know the air mass, you can pretty well have a good guess at the forecast yourself up to 5 days in advance. If you want to learn those again, then get yourself along to Aviation Weather School Part 1. That's going to be on the mornings of the 18th and 25th of September, presented live by me online between 09:30 and 12:30 hours. It'd be great to see you there. Go to weatherschool.co.uk for more information. Okay, I'll leave you with that for now. Have a fantastic weekend, won't you? And I'll catch you next week. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, Simon. Yeah, looking like an interesting weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, time for some news.
Yes, and first up in the news, there's a new issue out. What's new, I hear you ask? Well, there's 8 pages on some of the highlights of the Experimental Aircraft Association's annual AirVenture show at Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Find out about 5 friends who fly formation aeros, and they created their own team to help cover their flying costs. They're also on the lookout for a new team member. So if you think that could be you, then you definitely want to read that. In Flying Adventure, Paul Cadell tells all about 6 hours of beautiful flying fun on the solstice. That's just a magical feature to read. Very beautiful photography. That'll definitely have you thinking about planning your own solstice adventure. Plus, Fly Club members save £35 in September with 5 free landings at Fenland, Holmbeck, Kingsmuir, Manchester Barton, and North Coats. So yes, the link's in the comments. Someone will have posted that while I've read this out.
I have.
So enjoy the issue.
Absolutely, and
trust me.
The issue is free to read. Please feel free to go download it and share it with your friends. That won't always be the case, I think. So enjoy it while you can. And did you say Barton in September?
Yes.
You know what? I think if the weather's good, maybe we should have a little pop-up gathering in Barton. What do you reckon?
Well,
that could work nicely.
Good, couldn't it?
Yeah.
You should probably mention it to them, but I reckon that. I reckon. Hands up, who'd be up for going to Barton?
Yeah.
There you go. Excellent. Excellent. Good. What's next in the big series of news, Dave?
Well, it's about Oshkosh again, of course. We've Oshkosh, the people who run it, EAA, have released some figures about this year's event, and they're pretty good. More than 608,000 people attended, and it's only the 3rd time that it's topped 600,000. So you have to say, busy show. More than 10,000 aircraft were involved, and in fact, at Oshkosh alone, over the 11 days, there were 16,707 movements. That's pretty busy. 2,750 aircraft, 2,758 aircraft on display. 5,500 volunteers who put in more than 250,000 hours to make it work. If you had to pay them, basic pay, that would amount to quite a sum, wouldn't it? 1,500 workshops and presentations, 17.6 million people reached on the official social media. And lastly, 23 million tons of bratwurst and 17 miles of cheese curds were sold.
Wow.
Sorry, I just made that up. Actually.
I was going to say, I'm going to go on the bratwurst. There is no way there's that many bratwurst in the whole world, not even in Germany, let alone Wisconsin.
But apparently bratwurst and cheese curds are the most popular food at Oshkosh. So I read on the EAA website.
That may be so, but other foods are available.
Yes.
Fortunately,
did you know that cheese curds are also known as squeaky cheese? Anyone know why? I don't know the answer. I was just putting it out there.
Know. Is it like cheap halloumi or something?
Yes, could be. Yeah.
So talking of Oshkosh numbers, I was talking to a couple of people who went, and apparently out of the 608,000 people, count them, that visited, there was at least 4 people wearing a mask. And no more in all the crowded hangars. And the in-joke, as anyone will know if they saw the Philippe Pullman video, was there is no COVID in Wisconsin, but there will be in 2 weeks' time. So hopefully he's wrong on that.
But anyway, a tremendous event. So
absolutely tremendous event, and I am not happy of not going. But next year we'll put that right.
We've got a little video, haven't we?
We have.
We had.
No, we have got a video. We're not going to play it.
And the link is in the comments.
It is now in the comments.
Yeah, so go watch our roundup video. There's also a whole bunch of other videos on the Fly YouTube site. We got interviews with Garmin, interviews with Sporties, interviews with Cirrus, interviews with Philippe Pullman, wandering around. There's probably some more in there that I've forgotten somewhere. We've got our roundup. We got our video for what we didn't go in the beginning. There's a whole bunch of videos. Go have a look at them. That would be a jolly good thing. Talking of videos, Johnny, you're going to tell us about Sleep.
Yeah, we had a good first little event to dip our toe into organising fly-ins, and there were plenty of lovely people turned up, lovely aircraft turned up, and to be fair, the guys at Sleep couldn't have been any better. They were really accommodating, and nothing was a problem for them, which is exactly what you want when you're organising a first fly-in. There was tea, coffee, cakes, banter. There were foramites popping out from behind trees. It was really good. Nice little event. So thank you very much to people that came, and thank you to Bruce and the gang for hosting us there. And we also do have a video on the YouTube channel, which hopefully somebody can post the link to any second. So after you watch this, you can watch that.
Absolutely.
But I have to say, Sleep as an aerodrome, fantastic, and the work that Bruce has done there with all the other team is amazing.
Yeah.
So go if you haven't been there, go. It's fantastic. It's like a brilliant general aviation gem.
It's what general aviation airfields should be like, or all general aviation airfields should be like. And quite, there are some good airfields around, but there are some that could learn some stuff as well. So, and ultimately, what you're really looking for is some enthusiasm and some passion for aviation, aren't you? You got that, you're halfway there. So, top mark Slate, thank you very much, peeps, and thank you very much for turning up. There will be some more fly-outs. We've got a few other ideas and other bits and pieces we're going to try. So watch this space if you're a club member. And there may even be one in Barton. Who knows? They don't know that yet. So we probably need to talk to them. Right. Next up, I see it's me talking about just a quick one on Not Lundy Sunday. So on the 1st of August, should have been Lundy. Last year was probably the busiest flying. They probably had more people flying into Lundy last year than they did in Oshkosh, because Oshkosh was cancelled and Lundy wasn't. This year, I spoke to Pete White today. Unfortunately, I had to cancel it because the weather was just atrocious. And he kind of felt that London is a challenging place at the best of times. It would have been awful in those conditions, and there probably would have been a few people who left their undercarriage behind to have their airplane shipped back on a boat. So unfortunately, it was cancelled. There were 98 people booked, which was considering there's been 87, I think, was the previous highest record, which is a pretty impressive number. Pete said he was going to close the registrations at 100, so that probably would have got to 100 and got closed. So unfortunately, given his commitments with all sorts of stuff going on in Cornwall, events on Lundy and everything else, there's no real way it can be rescheduled for this year. So back in 2022 for Lundy. So there you go. Unfortunately, there you go. What have we got now? We have got Dave talking about Private Flyer.
Yes, Private Flyer is on tomorrow, Friday the 6th of August. I'm saying that just in case you're watching this on catch-up. There's a strong list of UK GA companies and a couple of firsts. Airability will be giving its Project Able Grob 109B its debut. This is an overhauled, updated and recertified former military aircraft, and the updates are pretty extensive. It's got a new Rotax engine, an MT prop, Garmin avionics, and there's been a complete refresh of the airframe. So, very nice looking aircraft. What's happening there is that Garmin are going to keep 8 of these. They've got 60 altogether. They're going to keep 8 for themselves and sell the rest commercially. Apparently, they've already got their first customer. The other first at Private Flyer is going to be the Diamond DA50RG. The first one in the country is going to be at the show with the Diamond UK agent. That's Gemstone Aviation, who are based at Gamston. There it is, lovely airplane. Bit strange in the front.
Did you say Garmin were going to keep 8 of them? I think Airability are going to keep 8, aren't they?
Airability are going to keep 8 of the aircraft, yes. The other 52 are going to be up for sale. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want 52 Grob 109s, give Airability a call. They might do you a deal if you take all 52. These are the ones that belong to the RAF, and due to some mysterious thing that shall not be spoken, ended up they were going to get chopped up, weren't they, or discarded or something, and then got stepped in. And
this is a good thing.
It's a very good thing. Very good thing. Well done, Airability. There's a possibility that we'll be popping along to Private Flyer ourselves tomorrow. It's only a day show, and Leeds is frankly a bloody long way from Wiltshire, so we're certainly not driving.
And the weather.
So it's a case of whether we're going to fly up or not, and the weather at the moment is looking decidedly average. I know tomorrow morning they got low cloud base. Tomorrow afternoon they got thunderstorms and hail in the forecast at least. So we'll see what happens and develops overnight. Take a look in the morning and then start to have a think about it. Obviously, there's a whole slot booking system and everything involved, so don't just pitch up if you haven't got a slot. Make sure you get in touch first. If you go in by road, and you get 50% off the tickets if you're a Flyer Club member. If you're not a Flyer Club member, you'll have to pay full price and go by road. So there you go. Ed, you've got something for us?
I have. So we're all familiar with the Yak 18T, the old bus of a 4-seater that obviously gives you a few more seats than the good old Yak 52. Well, Red Aircraft of Germany have fitted and test flown a Yak 18T with its ginormous 500 horsepower V12 turbo diesel. The monster motor has full authority digital engine control. That's FADEC to you and me. And the V layout, so 2 banks of 6, gives the engine redundancy. Reds say that you can operate the engine on either bank of cylinders independently, which is quite amazing, really. So the FADEC stores and monitors engine data, allowing early identification of potential problems. Red claims the 18T with the Red engine, the climb rate is doubled, useful load increased by over 50%. Max speed is an amazing 216 knots, up from the standard 18T's which is 262 kilometers an hour. I haven't got a calculation for that in knots. Work that one out yourself. Fuel burn is 20 to 40% lower. Of course, that's 20 to 40% lower than an enormous amount. So it's probably just marginally less than an enormous amount.
Yeah, it's kind of. I wonder why they called the registration libido.
Yeah. Eugene adds in the comments, didn't the Yak 18 have a turboprop conversion once? It did. There was such a thing. Richard Good was selling it in the UK. I'm not sure if they made many of them. But
called the SM 2000, I think it was called.
It was, wasn't it? Yes. Yeah.
I had a fly of it.
Yeah, it's one of those aeroplanes where people have stuck all sorts on it just because it's kind of, it's a big robust thing. So
it was really weird to fly because it was a strange mixture of the kind of Russian 18T heritage with sort of stuff that you get in like a railway signalman's thing, and then other like micro switches, which were like tiny things. You just couldn't quite get your head around what it was. And I think the other problem was, it was effectively an unpressurized turbine aircraft. And there are some success stories with unpressurized aircraft, but an unpressurized fast cross country tour. I think they only made. I can't remember any more than one of them, actually. They may have made a couple.
And if as someone who would know, Mark Jeffries says the aircraft was in Termikas last month when I was in Lithuania. So.
Was it still airworthy, Mark?
I don't know. I'm sure if it's for sale, Mark can probably get you a deal on it.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Thanks. I'm okay. Johnny, talking of aircraft for sale.
Yes.
That was smooth, wasn't it?
That was slick. So, yeah, BEA, who are the UK Piper agent, they're based at Wickham. They've become the exclusive Sinatra aircraft dealer for the UK and the Ireland and the Channel Islands. So that's a Sinatra Belgium-based company that manufacture the 200, which is the all-metal two-seater, which is basically aimed at flight training organisations. And it comes in two versions: basic version with a classic T arrangement with primary instruments, glass cockpit, and the Trainer Pro, which is equipped with the Garmin G500 TXI and a Honeywell KI300, as well as some backup EFIS instruments. And they both got Rotaxes. So that is a new thing for BEA.
Good. It's a good little aeroplane as well, isn't it? You've flown it yet?
I have. So it was one of those, because it's a VLA and not one of the sort of lighter LSA type things, it adds an air of solidity, should we say. It feels like it would survive in the flight training environment, whereas some of the lighter aircraft might struggle if you have some slightly ham-fisted students or instructors even. But the Snarker is a really nice little aircraft. I enjoyed my time with the Snarker.
Yeah, there's just one school at the moment in the UK that's got them, and that Blackbush.
I believe so. Yeah. I believe so. I'm kind of guessing that because BEA, obviously being the Piper dealer, you would think might be competing with the Sinatra on the little Piper, whatever they're calling their low-cost cadet type thing.
Oh yeah, the 100.
But on the other hand, that low-cost Piper, it's not a Piper Cadet, is it? The low-cost one.
It's Pilot 100.
Piper P100i or something, isn't it?
That's it. The P100i. That I seem to remember is a Piper direct sale only. It doesn't go through agents.
Yeah.
So I guess that'll be an interesting conversation. I'm sure that was had with Vero Beach at some stage. But maybe not. Who knows? Let's not cast aspersions too often.
Dave, tell us about scholarships.
Before I get us into any hot water.
The British Women's Pilots Association, which is a bit of a mouthful, BWPA, they've announced the winners of their flying scholarships for this year. 19 flying scholarships, apparently. All various sponsors behind them, including Sky Demon. The scholarships and bursaries are all to women, of course, because that's the BWPA. That's what it's all about. Their aim is to encourage women to fly both privately and professionally. Obviously, everyone's very delighted who's got an award. I think we need a similar scheme for men, really, don't we? But,
no,
we don't. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah,
What's
thank
next?
you very much. Ed, why don't you tell us about the LAA Rally, Ed?
Excellent, yes. So flying bookings for the LAA Rally have been opened this week. Obviously, LAA Rally being held at Sywell, 3rd to the 5th of September. You can go to the Sywell Aerodrome website and go on the fly-in booking page. One of the teams is going to put the link in the comments while I read this out. This year, though, a bit of a change. You'll need to pay for your slot at the same time as you book it. This is in part to minimise cash handling on the day and maximise availability of slots for the benefit of all members who wish to fly into the rally. One landing fee of £12.50 plus 45p booking covers admission for all those on board for 3 days and camping by your aeroplane. If you do any more flying, further landings will be charged. So, and if you can't make it due to the weather, if you just take your paid for booking, and they'll let you in by road for free. So, but obviously, don't forget to cancel your slot if you get in the car, so that the slot can be reallocated. So, and some hot news following on the foot of that. We heard from the LAA tonight that they're planning a 75th anniversary Fly-It Day on Tuesday, the 26th of October. So it's a new idea, and the idea is to just get in your aeroplane and fly it. Why the 26th of October? That's the so it's 75 years from then. 1946 was the date when the meeting that first inaugurated the Ultralight Aircraft Association, which became the LAA. So LAA is suggesting that on that day you fly a friend. If don't go flying with a spare seat, fill it with someone who's interested in aviation. They're having a fly into to Western, free landings. There's looks like there's going to be free tea and cake at to Western in the LA HQ, and they're encouraging people to photograph their flight and document stuff and tell them about it. So and for all the people who have to work, there's going to be a flight Sunday, which is also the weather fallback day, and that's Sunday the 31st of October.
So, excellent. So that's just a few days after the 75th day. I wonder, was it called the Ultralight Aircraft Association or something?
Yes. Yeah.
And then was there anything before the Popular Flying Association?
No, it was Ultralight Aircraft Association, and then it was Popular Flying Association. There is, if I can find it, reach down here. If you were an LA member, you might have been lucky enough to get a fantastic 75 Years of Flying for Fun special edition, which tells you all about that. And I know they have some copies at LAHQ, which you might be able to, if you haven't seen it, they might be able to send it out. So, but just join, if you're going to ring them up and say, I want a copy of that, just join the association. It's a great deal.
Just after you've joined the Flyer Club.
Yeah,
exactly. Many things to join. Those are two great things.
Absolutely, indeed. Good. Well, I put a link up in the comments for the slot allocation. So if you want your slot, go click that link and book your slot, pay for your slot, and use your slot, basically. So here we come to the first of the what do we call it? The first of our occasional series. I'm not quite sure what this one's called, or thinking about it, why we've put it in this position in the running order, but maybe it should be a bit further back. But anyway, it's here tonight. I can't remember what it's called, but here's the little stinger we made earlier. There you go, making complicated things simple, as it were. We all know there's a whole bunch of complicated things in aviation, and we thought we'd just take one or two of them from time to time and try and make them simpler. Today, I'm going to have a crack at that, but in future, we'll hopefully get some experts along who do a better job. The first thing is all around, let me just whip back up here so I can get to my other things. First thing's around something called ORS 1490. Over the last couple of weeks, in various emails and stuff on the internet, including Facebook groups, there's been a whole bunch of people talking about the ORS 1490, which is effectively concerning FAA pilots flying NREG aircraft in the UK. And unsurprisingly, there was a whole bunch of stuff on there and a whole bunch of stuff on the groups that just wasn't true. What I would suggest, as always, if you can, go to the original source document. So here, the interesting thing, the first thing up here, this applies to holders of FAA pilot license who are permanently residing in the US, but exercising private license privileges. So that's private license privileges, not commercial privileges. There was a whole bunch of people going, well, won't that mean that everyone working for Delta or United will have to go and get a CA license? No, because this is private stuff. The background to this, why is this all happening? Well, why? That's a bit of a mystery. We'll come to that later. But effectively, what happened was quite a while ago now, EASA said, anyone, when we were part of EASA, that is, anyone living in Europe, and we were part of Europe at the time as well, needs to have a European pilot license, even if they fly FAA NREG aircraft. That then, what happened then? Oh yeah, the FAA and the EU got into this discussion over bilateral licensing, and EASA said, you know what, while that's going on, just carry on as you were, fly your NREG aircraft on your FAA licenses. And in fact, that exemption still exists in EASA land, I think so, sometime 2022 at least. So then the CA came out with ORS 4, and I'll come back to the CA in a minute, saying, actually, we're going to exempt you, but we're going to exempt you until the 21st of December, 2021. So if you're flying on an FAA certificate and an NREG aircraft, you can do so until the 21st of December, not June, not May, not other times you see 21st of December. Always try and go to the original document if you can. And that there are some conditions, and the conditions are in here. Basically, if you're doing it already, you should have already had a declaration, and that declaration's just extended. You can get your own declaration again now until December, although I'm not sure it's worth it, using these forms. But go to the original licenses. Just a quick word about why it's happening. I know I mentioned the CA. It's not the CA. It's the Department for Transport who are making it. Thus, I have no idea why they're doing it. I've asked them why they're doing it. Whichever question I ask them, they just answer a different one. None of it is the question that I actually want answered, because for for whatever reason they're being rubbish or just hiding something. I don't know. Will it change? Who knows? Unlikely, some would say. So basically, cut a long story short, if you're currently flying an NREG aircraft on an FAA license after December 21st, you will need to get yourself a CA license or a CA instrument rating if that's why you're doing it. Okay, I'll just have one other quick subject, which is a completely different subject to this. This is all concerning France coming off of the Amber Plus list onto the Amber list. So does that mean that we can now go to France for a day trip and get back to the UK eating some more snails? Well, yes and no. It kind of depends how much faff you want to go through. If you look on the government website, again, get back to the original document, there are a couple of things you have to do. 3 days prior to your return to the UK, you need to do a test. That can be a lateral flow test, if you like. If you're going to do a day trip, you still have to do it 3 days before you come back to the UK. So do that in the UK. You need to more painfully book and pay for a PCR test to take on the second day after you come back. There are rumours of these being available for 42 quid. There are also other places where you can spend an awful lot more money for that. So if there's 4 of you going, that adds a chunk of change to your day trip to the 2K. And if you are fully vaccinated, with your last vaccine being more than 2 weeks ago, you have no need to quarantine when you come back. If you aren't fully vaccinated, then you have to quarantine for 2 days till you get the result of that PCR test. And you have to complete a passenger locator form. Hopefully, someone has posted a link to a forum discussion where there's lots of other information on there, lots of good, useful stuff about the various French apps you can download and match with your NHS COVID app so that you can prove your vaccine status and go and eat in, there you go and eat in restaurants and stuff like that when you go. So the long and short of it is you can, it's still a faff and it's going to cost you a chunk of change. So there you go. That's the end of the occasional series. When there's more complicated stuff, we'll be looking for experts to answer it. And if you've got anything you want answered, then drop us a line and we'll see if we can find someone who knows what they're talking about. That's that. There you go. Right. What's next? We have the next. Next is the next feature in our occasional series. I'm not going to do this one. Dave's going to do this one, but let's run the stinger for that one.
There we go.
Yes,
you go.
This is Rats Watch,
High production
the restricted airspace temporary, or RATs as we like to call them. So I'm just going to run through a few RATs coming up. So the first one is this weekend on Saturday. It's East Kirkby Air Show in Lincolnshire on Saturday the 7th, 11:30 to 16:30. So that's that one. The next one is the Jet Formation Display Team Sites. This is the Red Arrows. And this is where they're going to various air shows around the UK. There's various from 8th of August to the 12th of September. This Sunday, the 8th, is the first one. So that's Folkestone. Wednesday, the 11th, is at Falmouth. And on Thursday, the 12th, a week's time, they're at RAF Valley in Anglesey and RAF Shawbury. And so it goes on. There's a whole list there. The next one is Shuttleworth at Old Warden Airfield. There are various events over the season again. The next one is the evening display on the 14th of August from 1715 to 1945. Again, this is going to happen at other events that Shuttleworth hold. The final one I'm going to talk about today is at Clanbedra. Did I get that right? Clanbedra. Royal Aero Club Air Races on Saturday and Sunday, 21st and 22nd of August from 8 o'clock in the morning to 1650 in the afters. May have that wrong. I've got 1660 written down here, which will be 1700. So I think I've typed it wrong. But late afternoon, anyway. So that's just to say that again. It's the 21st and 22nd of August. There is one on the next page of the script, which is this isn't technically not a RAT since it's going to be permanent. This is Ray Mill House at Laycock in Wiltshire. It's 1 nautical mile radius up to 1,600 feet. This is going to be a royal residence. And Ed, you've got a bit of a theory about why this is there, haven't you?
Well, I'm just it's not far from where I fly, and it's for a royal residence, and I can't help but think that this is just springing up probably just to keep drones at bay, not to keep light aircraft out of the way. So it'd be nice if that is the case, CAA or whoever handles this, then perhaps we can have restricted airspace for just drones, and GA can just carry on flying, entirely normally like they've been doing in these areas. So I might be wrong, but I'm guessing it's drone related.
It's probably worth saying a couple of things just with my legal hat on here. Saying even though it probably is drones, and I agree with you, Ed, at the moment it's an exclusion basically, unless you're like a HEMS helicopter or police helicopter, or you have some dispensation from the Chief Constable of Wiltshire or something, then just don't go there. And it's very close to where my airplane's based, so I'll be paying particular attention to not bust that one. Otherwise, I'll be getting a little letter from the CA. We don't want that.
Yeah,
and the other thing
that's fair, they've made it as small as they can. But it makes you wonder why it's cropped up all of a sudden. So
yeah, indeed, I agree. And the other last point, not that anyone would be so silly to do this anyway, but even though our rat watch is very well researched, please don't just use that as your briefing. Please look at the other thing. And here's a bit of extra information for you if you don't have this already, or I'm sure everybody does. There you go. That's snazzy tune. The AIS information line. Give them a bell on the way to the airfield and find out what all the recorded. If you haven't called them before, which I'm sure you all have, call them tomorrow. See what they say, and you'll get a recorded message with all of the restrictions of the day. So there you go.
Before we go on, I'd just like to say that we have some YouTube royalty in the comments tonight. Plain Silly. Some of you will be familiar with this YouTube channel. It's one of the funnier ones around. We ran a feature recently about our favourite YouTube channel, and this one popped up in Dave's, though Dave was a little bit critical. But anyway, hello, Just Plain Silly. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Why don't you come and be one of our guests and tell us the jokes and stuff? I quite like the Just Plain Silly one where he was basically two of him discussing stuff, basically like two pilots sniffing each other's arse, basically. What do you find?
Wasn't he having an argument with himself about North Up versus Track Up?
Yeah, North Up versus Track Up. Everyone knows it should be Track Up. That's true.
Exactly.
But it was also like, for flight or Garmin. It was all high wing, low wing. All of those cliched arguments that aviators have. He did it really well.
Exactly. Yeah. Cool. So moving on. Yesterday, our very own Johnny Salmon caught up with Zara Rutherford, the pilot behind the Fly Zolo world record attempt to become the youngest female pilot to fly around the world. Here's what she had to say about that exciting challenge.
And we'll just wait for a really slick video transition, which is coming up any second now. Right, well, Zara Rutherford, thank you very much for joining us on Flyer. It's good to see you here today. Just tell me, to begin with, what prompted this around the world flight that you're taking part in next month, or this month rather?
Yeah. So I've flown my whole life. I think I asked my parents actually. My first flight in a plane, or a small plane, was when I was 4 months old. So I'm afraid I don't quite remember that, but I'm sure I was very happy. And so both my parents are pilots, so I've literally grown up around airplanes. My whole life has been airplanes. And so naturally, I think when you see these planes in the sky, you're thinking, or even when you're thinking, how amazing would it be to fly around the world in this? And yeah, it kind of built up from that. So from young age, it was just, I've always liked adventure. So I just thought that's like the greatest adventure you could possibly do. And so it built up from that. And then, I didn't realize I'd be the youngest woman. That was kind of, that'd be breaking world record. I knew I wouldn't be the youngest person. I knew there were many men who'd beaten it, but I just assumed that there'd be a woman too. I just thought, surely there's a woman out there who's kind of close to the male record. Turns out there isn't. The current women's records holder is 30 years old. Was 30 years old at the time of her flight. And I thought that, and whereas, Travis, I believe, is 18 months old and 4 or 5 months, something like that. So I just thought that 12-year age gap is crazy. And I wanted to then use, that dream and bring them closer and bring that gap closer to just a few months.
Yeah. So, in terms of the route itself, can you talk us through? Because I was looking on your website this morning and I was looking at the route and assuming you were going eastwards, but you're not, are you? You're going west.
No, I'm going west. I'm trying to cross the Atlantic and the Pacific as quickly as possible before the weather turns a bit sour. And the route was originally, so I contacted Guinness for their guidelines. And so the route was originally chosen to fulfill those guidelines. And one of them was to cross 2 antipodal points. So that is, so 2 opposite points on the globe. And so then that's what I did. So that's why it's a weird W. If you have a look at my route, it's a very weird sort of W. And my 2 points are, Tumaco in Colombia and Jambi in Indonesia. And then with some back and forth with Guinness, it's not necessary. Those 2 points aren't necessary, but nevertheless, I just thought it is an amazing route. I'd like to keep it, and so I'm still doing it, and I'm really excited about it.
Fantastic. And how long should it take you?
2 to 3 months. So I've counted for 45 flying days, and then every 3 days I'll have a break, a rest day. And also some weather. Hopefully the weather will be good, but it could be bad.
Fantastic. And do you have like an overall aim for the trip? What kind of objectives are you trying to hit?
Yeah, so at first it really was kind of an adventure, and then I kind of realized so last Monday was the press release, and I got a lot more coverage than I ever expected to get. So I decided, already before I knew that I was hoping to inspire girls to get aviation. There aren't many girls. I think 5% of commercial pilots are women, which is a very small number considering it's an amazing career. And then I just thought, now that I've got all this coverage, I'd like to do something with it and hopefully be as effective, have an effective and strong message. And so my idea is to have a girl, or just one girl really, see me and think that's a really cool thing to do, to fly a plane, and then hopefully do the same.
Yeah. Now, the aircraft itself, just tell us what it is.
It's a Shark aircraft. It's a microlight. If I succeed, I'll be the youngest person in a microlight to go around the world. It is the fastest microlight in the world. It is very fast. It goes at 150 knots cruise speed. Retractable gears. It's got, everything you really want, a full glass. And so it is amazing. I love that this Shark team is also really supportive, really great. And I'm really happy to be working with them and that they're sponsoring me. So they've been very helpful and learning me the aircraft at no cost.
Good. And what was the conversion like from flying what you were flying before onto the Shark?
Oh, it completely different. When you think of a microlight, you kind of think of a brick with wings, right? It's pretty slow. It's not the most aerodynamic thing on the planet. But you actually get used to it quite quickly, and it is very fun to fly. It is extremely fun to fly. I did a test flight my first test flight with Shark was really fun because I had someone in the back doing some tricks and stuff and aerobatics. Well, not too aerobatic-y, right? All within the proper, all safe. But it was really fun to see what a microlight is capable of. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And are there, or do you think there will be any challenges in going from kind of flying at Piper PA-28 GA world speeds to flying around at 150, 160 knots? Do you think there'll be any challenges there?
I think actually it's okay. So obviously I'll be cruising quite quickly, but I'd rather not spend too much time, especially when you're over the Bering Strait. You don't want to be spending too much time up there. So no, it's an amazing aircraft. I love flying it. It's actually relatively easy to handle. You get used to it quite quickly, and I'm really excited.
Fantastic. And how many hours have you got in total, and when did you start flying?
So right now I'm close to 150 hours, I believe, logged. But then I've got hundreds more unlogged with my father specifically, and the rest of my family. So my father is a ferry pilot. So then I accompany him quite often on his ferrying trips. So then that way you get some really invaluable experience that has, most recently I flew from Texas to Jordan in a Cessna 340. And so, I mean, it's a completely different plane. So the plane doesn't really fly to what I'll be flying now, but the route was practically the same, although obviously eastbound, but practically the same. So for a chunk, obviously. And so that was really good that I got to have that experience.
Yeah. Do you think you've picked up any good hints and tips for flying over that part of the world?
Yes, I think, you really have to make sure your pre-flight is good, make sure the weather's all correct and looking good, and yeah, I mean, it's just, I guess, more unconscious stuff, what to not go into a panic if something happens to go wrong and stuff like that. So I think I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, and you've got quite a big list of countries that you're going to fly through. I think it's at least 40 or maybe even 50. Do you have any in particular that you're really excited to visit?
Yes, so I've been to Greenland once before. Absolutely loved it. The most beautiful country I think I've been to by quite a long way. By quite a lot. So Greenland, definitely. I actually requested an extra stop in Kulusuk after the route had been done. I was like, actually, it's one more stop I need, which is Kulusuk. Is just off the east coast of Greenland. Really beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then a lot of countries in, especially South America, the Middle East, and Asia. I've almost never really been there. I went to the Middle East for the first time 2 or 3 months ago, and I'll be going to Saudi Arabia as well. So that's the first time in Saudi Arabia. Usually quite isolated country, so I'm really looking forward to going there. And yeah, South America, so Colombia, and obviously the Bahamas. I would love to go there. Might struggle to leave again afterwards, but yeah, and then just Asia in general. Yeah.
Yeah, and going back to like the aircraft as well. What kind of kit are you taking with you, and how much can you fit in the Shark?
Yes, I've got an extra tank in the back, kindly sponsored by Turtle Pack in Australia. So that holds about 80 extra litres, which adds on, I believe it's 1,000 extra kilometres. I might need to check that. But yes, it adds on much more range. Then Iridium also kindly sponsoring me, so I have satellite phone with me in case I got in a bit of a pickle at one point and just had to call up someone and say, actually, I see a storm up ahead. Is it coming towards me or left, right? What should I do? Or order pizza, depending. And then other than that, it's all, so within the Shark, it's all glass, Dynon equipment. I'll probably have another tablet with me as a GPS system. And then, so I believe, and a parachute as well. That's kind of the main, it's a bit of an emergency one there, but yeah, just exciting stuff.
Yeah, so will you be carrying, the usual wearing immersion suits and life rafts and that kind of thing? Yes. So I've got, I'll be wearing a flight suit during my whole trip, kindly sponsored by Proper, and then I'm having an immersion suit for the colder regions up north. Yeah. And what do your friends think of this?
They think I'm crazy. Yeah. They all think I'm pretty crazy, but they're really, really supportive and they're really happy for me. And every once in a while I get a message from someone saying, I just saw you here. Oh my God, I just saw you, in this newspaper. So that's really nice. And yeah, they've been amazing. Yeah.
Do any of your friends fly or have any kind of knowledge and interest
I'm afraid
in
not.
aviation?
So that's another thing. As a girl, you don't, as a girl, your female friends, they're rarely pilots. So I'm afraid not, but hopefully I'll try and convince them, get them to join the ranks. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you could get one or two friends flying from your trip, that would be another good objective to tick off.
It would be good. Yeah, that would be very fun. Hopefully once I'm back, I'd like to take them all for the spin in the Shark.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good.
In terms of your career aspirations, are you wanting to go commercial?
So I was thinking about that for a long time, and I think no. So my dream is really to create and build stuff. I'd like to think I'm a little bit creative. I like building little things. So my dream is to go into STEM, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So I'm hoping to go to university and do electrical engineering, and then from there I'm not too sure. I think one day a dream is to become an astronaut, but obviously the chances are quite slim. It is very hard. So, but I love everything that's electrical engineering and building computers and coding and things like that. So I'll do something with that.
Brilliant. That sounds great. Very inspiring. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Have you got any last messages for people before you set off? And when you're back, can we have another chat with you to see how it went?
Definitely, yes. And messages, I think, obviously, if anyone was interested in sponsoring, it would be much appreciated. And otherwise, I think I'm good. Thank you very much.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, what amazing enthusiasm, and what a fantastic trip that's planned. And my favourite comment, Steve Middleton says, "I struggle to get from one county to another without worrying about the weather." Yeah, me too, Steve. So I'm in awe of that, really.
Just for anyone that hasn't seen it, I'll quickly flash up the route. That's it. Which is quite, it's quite a comprehensive. That's taking in some pretty interesting countries in terms of.
It's some pretty interesting countries, and putting yourself in harm's way with the weather quite a bit as well, I would guess. So
that's a really nice interview. Actually, I really enjoyed listening to that.
Yeah,
she came across really well. And
I wish I'm sure all the flyer readers wish her well. So
she'll be setting off next week.
I think Paul Fraser Bennison asked if we could track her, and I think Ed or someone posted a tracking link further up in the comments.
Yeah, I'm guessing that her website, which is Flyzolo, flyzolo.com, there's going to be a tracking map where you'll be able to do that. Like she said, Iridium are one of the sponsors, so hopefully that will enable people to keep an eye on her. So.
Yeah, well, we'll be bringing you regular updates, probably once a week on a Thursday evening, I would suggest.
Yes. Anyway, it must be time for Fancy Hanger.
Hang on a minute.
We'll just wait here.
Off guard.
Did you say? What did you say, Ed?
I think it must be time for Fancy Hanger, Ian. Are you ready? Well done,
there you
man. So it's the summer holidays, although no one has apparently informed the people in charge of the weather of that. And we figured that there's an awful lot of talk of staycations in the UK. So we figured what would be an awesome aeroplane to take from Fancy Hanger on a UK staycation break. So who is first?
Dave.
Oh, right. I wasn't sure.
Pressure's on, Dave.
The list is in the plan. We have
it's in the plan, is it? Right. Okay. So my choice is a Tecnam P2006T. This is Tecnam's light twin. The high wing makes it ideal for landing on a beach or a grass strip. It's got a short takeoff run, 301 meters, and landing is quite short as well, 231 meters. A useful load of 411 kilograms is enough for me, the missus, and the dog. Plus a small haversack. The cruise speed is 145 knots. Not very fast, but as you once said, Ian, if you're enjoying yourself flying, why do you want to go fast and finish it? Just take your time. It runs on avgas, runs on MOGAS or avgas, burning 34 litres an hour. So I've seen the others, and they've all got some very good choices, but mine's the most economical.
Well, there we go. If economy is your thing, vote for Dave.
There you go.
Economy is not my thing.
No.
I have to say, before we move on to your thing, though, it's probably quite surprising to a bunch of people the short landing and short takeoff that you get out of that Tecnam twin, and the fact that you can land on some really rough stuff. And if you ever go to the Tecnam factory, I think it might have changed now. I think they might have a hard runway. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But for years and years and years, they had just a piece of scrubland by the side of the factory that they used,
really
and so
rough.
It was pretty rough. So, and their aircraft were sort of tested on and off of there, so you can pretty much. They weren't going to be building airplanes with weak undercarriages because they probably wouldn't have got out of the factory. But yeah. Anyway, Ed, on to your choice next.
Yes. So economy wasn't on the pick list for this. So I picked this magnificent machine. It's a Grumman Albatross, but not just any Albatross. No, check out the photo at the bottom. This one is probably the most tricked out version of Grumman's fabulous seaplane. It's got a Gulfstream style interior that converts to allow you to sleep overnight in the aircraft. And as I figured, if I was staycationing in the UK, I'd probably want to head up to Scotland for the fantastic scenery. I've got a deeper version to tents and canvas. So while I'm there, I could obviously land on a lock and camp in the aeroplane. And I think that would be just about fantastic. And I think that's probably about the best machine I could find for that task. And not only that, I could stick it in the hangar, and all year round, people would walk into the hangar and go, wow, that's awesome.
People would quickly followed by, where can you land it? And you'd be going, well, Scotland.
That's true.
Scotland?
Yeah.
Fancy coming down to Cornwall, Ed?
No.
I'll get the train.
That's fine.
So, no, I think it is a gloriously great choice. It's just a little bit limited on where you can actually go. But, you know, that's nice. So I went modern, and I didn't go cheap. Kind of figured, you know, if you want to get around the UK with a whole bunch of mates, you want somewhere where you can shelter, you want somewhere where you can live, you want somewhere where you can take a whole load of staff, you want something that's not going to be a hassle, you want a Cessna Grand Caravan. You could ram, I think, 14 or 15 people, maybe even more in it, but who wants to do that? You just kit it out with maybe 6 or 7 nice luxury seats, a bit of space, just like flying a big 172. Super reliable PT6 turbine, lands on any sort of rough stuff, no big problem there. Just a really nice, easy, fun airplane to take your mates around. You pitch up at a little strip, pull up, pop your tent up, get out, start the barbie up, get a few tins of soft drink, probably.
You could even camp in the belly pod.
Camp in the belly pod, although I don't know if I'm not sure if the belly pod is like compartment, whether you'd need to fold yourself up into a belly pod, whether you'd have like
yeah, it probably doesn't stretch front to back, does it?
Yeah, you can have little racks of small people. No, don't want to do that. And so, but I reckon the Grand Caravan is
that's quite a good staycation-y type airplane.
I think so, yeah. And if you say it quickly, it's not outrageously expensive.
No, that's it. As you know, with the Caravan name though, as Mikey's Wings Across the Sky says, try towing that down the M5 behind a Mini.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that just leaves Johnny. Johnny, what did you go for?
I've gone very similar to Ian. I've gone for what was the Quest Kodiak. I think it's now the Daya Kodiak, which it looks very similar to the Caravan, a tiny bit smaller. You fit 10 in with really tight seating. It's pretty rugged, stall, high wing, unpressurized, single PT6, good for strips and unimproved airfields. The lack of pressurization is, I think, if you fly around the UK, is fine because you'd never really go high enough anyway to warrant needing pressurization, really. You can stick floats on it, so you can go chasing Ed around the locks. The carbon fiber floats are a $400,000 option.
Wow.
Which is quite watering. On top of the 400,000 on top of the $2.3 million price for the aircraft. So it's not, none of these things are cheap really, but I think that's probably the best one.
Yeah. Andrew Kennedy says, I think Johnny copied Ian's homework.
Mine's the newer version.
Yes.
Yes.
And you could fly yours to Papua New Guinea as well, Johnny.
Yeah,
should you want to?
Where they fly where they also, which A, wouldn't be a staycation, and B, they also fly lots of caravans out there as well.
That's it. Yeah.
So caravan. If we were a car magazine, we'd say, come over to the test track. We've got a caravan and we've got a Kodiak. We're going to race them around the UK. But I don't think
it would be fun.
It would be fun. Yeah. So Daya, so Cessna, Textron, get us those airplanes. Let's go have some fun.
Yeah.
Good. Cool. Okay. What's next? We're almost running out of time.
Going to the comments.
Because all the comments are about you, Ed.
Jonathan Smith said, Ed, I'm not sure the others were trying. And, oh dear, no way with those Cessnoid aeroplanes. Ed wins. David E says Ed won. Steve Middleton, Ed won. Johnson Smith, Edwin yet again. Boring Ian, Edwin so far. Steve Middleton, Ed is definitely winning so far. David E says, caravan on amphibious floats. Someone did say, hate to say this, but Ian wins. Graham Park, loner.
I mean, the albatross is one of the. I mean, can you imagine? You land on a lock. You think I'm going to land on a lock and I'm going to sleep in it. For a start, that interior is so amazing that you're like, I'm going to sleep in it.
You'd be fearful of messing it up. The environmentalist would be going, "Don't drip oil in the lock."
I'm going to put my cotton pajamas on so I don't mess anything up, including some cotton socks and cotton gloves. And plus, you got like temperamental engines probably, so start those and you end up going round and round in circles because you can't get them both started.
I know, it's an experience. You want to make your staycation exciting, don't you? You with your modern aeroplanes, with your turbine and your glass, will be wonderfully reliable and very anodyne.
Yeah, it's because I want to jump in this with 6 of my mates and go somewhere with no hassle and enjoy it. That's
true. Whereas I might jump in it and go, oh yeah, I've lost a cylinder. Hang on while I drop a load of tools in the water.
Hello, mates. Would you like to come for a 2-week holiday and help me polish my aeroplane and repair it often?
Dave, there's hope for you yet. Clear of Cloud clearly felt sorry for you. Dave wins for me.
Well, thank you. If
I didn't know better, I'd say that Clear of Cloud was one of those Russian or Chinese bots. Actually, or an Italian bot in this case.
Yeah. Anyway, we should move on because it's now overtime. Yeah.
Dave's going to get hangry.
Events.
We're going to whiz through events. And first of all, obviously, tomorrow, Private Flyer, Leeds East. Saturday at Compton Abbas, there's Vintage Saturday. That's a monthly event. Popham on the 7th, that's Saturday. The longest title of any event in the world. The Aero Auto Jumble, Classic Car Rally, and Vintage Aircraft Flying.
Come and say hello. We'll be wandering around on the Saturday at least. So come and say hello. Claim a free lanyard.
Don't you mean the Popham Microlight Trade Fair?
Yes.
That's the following week. Right. Okay. Carrying on. At Headcorn on the 7th and 8th, the weekend, there's an event called the Combined Ops Show, which is people driving around in American Jeeps and planes and things. Anyway, 7th and 8th also, Cardiff Airport are having a fly-in. 7th and 8th at Slape is the British Aerobatics Competition. On the 8th, Sunday, there's a Flyer Club UPRT Day at Goodwood. And also on the 8th, at Seething, there's the intriguingly named Fast and Slow Flying. Looking ahead, the Microlight Trade Show, Ian just mentioned, is at Popham on the 14th and 15th. And just one event's been cancelled. That's the YouTubers flying at Halfpenny Green. That was supposed to be on the 15th. I don't know why, but it's just been cancelled. So, over to you, Johnny.
Yeah, that was postponed for another date. On Club News, we had Nigel Webb doing an IFR webinar last night, which was really good. Amazing comments and feedback from people. So if you're a club member who missed out, you can click the same link and rewatch it. That'll be up there forever. As Dave said, we've got the UPRT Day at Goodwood down with Greeners at Ultimate High. I'm not sure if he's got any spaces left, but if he has, ring him up tomorrow morning and book, and you can get on. That'll be the last chance you've got to book that. And that sounds like a good event. And also, you should have also received a discount code for the Private Flyer event tomorrow, 50% off if you're arriving by road. And of course, if you want all of those great benefits plus more, you can join for just £7.50 per quarter.
Fantastic.
Good.
Dick Dastardly said the webinar was awesome.
It was. I've watched a few bits of it. I haven't had a chance to watch it all, but it's really good. Really, I'm going to sit down and enjoy that. Excellent.
Lots of good comments.
Yeah,
we've got a whole load of stuff coming up for club members, exclusive for club members. So if you'd like to see those and you'd like to take part in them, then join the club. So it just leaves me to say thank you again to Sky Demon for sponsoring the live stream. Have a great weekend. We may see you at Private Flyer tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll see you at some stage fairly soon. Thank you very much, and see you next week.
Fly safe, everyone.
Bye. Cheerio.
Fly safe indeed. Hang on a minute. I'm just scrolling up through this. Here we go. Thank you.
Bye.